check out this countertop that we built. It's gonna rock your world. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. So after we sanded the rock edge and got the surface of the countertop smooth, I'm gonna come in now and paint 2 coats of the Stone Coat Countertop Epoxy undercoating in white. You can also do this with any latex paint. However, if you use latex, you'll need to wait 24 hours so that that paint can off-gas. If you use the Stone Coat undercoating, you can pour the epoxy in 4 hours. Here I'm sanding with 220 to ensure that I get a nice smooth finish for the next step. After sanding and the surface was smooth, Erica and Claire came back with white Rust-Oleum paint and gloss. They gave it 2 good coats so that we can have a very, very smooth finish for the next step. The reason we use the gloss paint is that it provides a really good base for the alcohol inks that we're gonna apply next. All right, so phase 1 of the design process is done. Now, why do we go to the next step and spray this stuff on here?
This stuff is called UV Archival Varnish. Very important you get it in matte. What this will do is give an extra layer of protection from any potential fading. And also it's a barrier between your inks and your resin because some colors may reactivate with the resin once it starts to cure and heat up and stuff. So.
All right, so you said something very important in there that they may not have caught.
Matte.
Yes. It has to be a matte finish. Why does it have to be matte?
Gloss will reactivate your inks and make you very sad.
All right.
There's alcohol in the gloss.
All right, so there's alcohol in this can if it is gloss. There is none in there if it's matte. So make sure you pick up the matte can. Okay, so let's get a spray. And also you want to be in a very well vented area. When you do this, we have a very good ventilation system, so we're okay. Don't worry, we're taking care of ourselves. That's right. Okay, so here we go with phase 2 of the creative process. Everything's laid down. Our sealer is dried. And now we're gonna start coming in and filling in these gaps with a gold pen, and I'm just using a gold marker pen. And now we're gonna start outlining each one. Again, we're layering and layering and building creative interest. Claire and I are gonna be doing the paint pen. Erica is going to be coming in with, what are you doing, Erica?
Why do I have to pronounce it? So
Yeah.
it's Pebeo or Pebeo or Pebeo. I don't know. It's French or Canadian French. It's Vitria 160 and it's an outliner for glass. But the reason why I like to use this one in particular is because the point is super fine.
It's an adhesive, right? Because what are we gonna do with it?
It's pearl, so you can leave it just as it is. It's
Oh.
not just an adhesive, it's a decorative tool, but
Gotcha.
I add a glitter on top of it.
Let's say someone can't find this, all right? Could they use just an adhesive glue and come back and immediately put glitter on top?
Sure, you can use essentially whatever you want.
Okay,
You
cool.
could use puff paint for shirts,
Oh, that's a good idea.
because those a lot of times are fine point like this.
Cool. All right, here we go. I am so excited that Erica and Clara have decided to join me on this project. I absolutely could not do it without them.
I'm Erica, I'm with Artist Till Death, and we have a YouTube channel we post to every day. It's usually resin, but a lot of times it's alcohol ink, and so we super enjoy coming down to incorporate what we do with the amazing things that Rhonda does and Clara does. We also have a website, artisttilldeath.com, 2 T's, 2 L's with our products, some of which we used in this piece.
I use so many of their products in our videos, in our kitchen installs, you name it. So when I say Artist Till Death, that's who I'm talking about. Clara Lawrence.
These are my people. I hang out with them to grow creatively wise.
Clara is amazing when it comes to alcohol inks. Oh my gosh. So you need to go check out her YouTube channel, Clara Lawrence. We're gonna take some of the pearl and we're gonna kind of tap it in a little bit. Yep, tap it in. And then we're coming in with the Color Obsession, and this is Winter Wonderland.
Gorgeous, multiple sizes.
And we're just gonna kind of fill in the middle. We're only gonna do this on a few pieces. All right, so let's finish up this countertop. Okay, so we're back. It's been 2 days actually since we sealed the top of the countertop. You don't have to wait 2 days. It just happens to be that we got busy and now we have time to finish the countertop. All right, so now what we're gonna do are the edges. So if you go look at a geode, an actual geode rock, the outside is kind of blah. It's just looks like a rock. It's when you crack it open that you see the really pretty designs in the stones. So what I wanna do on my edge is I don't want my edge to be really all colorful like the inside. But I don't want it to be blah either, because it's gonna be the first thing that you see when you walk into our studio. You're gonna see that edge. So I wanna do kind of a in between. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here. We've already created a rock face edge. So the edge itself already has some texture and it's got some movements, some highs and some lows. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this and really kind of do a faux finish on it and take it to the next level. Then we're gonna flood our countertop with the clear, do a few little things on that and make this thing look wowza. Okay, ready for the second step of the edges. So our gold paint is dried. Now it's time to come in with a glaze. There's a million glazes on the market. You can use any kind of glaze that you want. I love General Finishes glazes. Van Dyke Brown is my very favorite, but this is all I had in the studio today. So it's the Rust-Oleum and it's the Java Brown. This is a really good glaze as well. Not quite as pigmented as the General Finishes, but this is good as well. All right, so what I did is I put a little bit of that in a cup, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of bling, and you're not gonna see a lot of this bling show through my glaze, but when the light hits it just right, you're gonna see it. Now that was gold dust, and all of these products are available on our website. This is red rock dust, and the reason I'm doing different, you don't have to do this. I want to add different glitters because I have different glitters in the actual design on the surface. That was red rock. This is, wrong one. This is just resin. They're chocolate truffle. All right. So like I said, you're not gonna really see this glitter as it really stand out. It's just gonna catch that light just enough to give us a little bit of a bling. So I'm gonna stir it up. And like I said, you definitely don't see it in the cup, but once it gets thin on the edge and the light hits it just right, you'll be able to see it. All right, again, we're gonna come back with a sponge brush and we're gonna do basically the same thing that we just did. All right, so everything's dry. Like I said, this is a solvent-based paint. So the water-based glaze that we're fixing to put on here, when I go to manipulate and to rub, it's not gonna affect this base coat. All right, so we're coming in and I'm just putting a light coat on there, and what I'm doing, not really that worried about getting it everywhere. I really just want to get it down in to the lows. There's lows and highs on this. Now also what this glaze is going to do, it's going to knock down that sheen on the spray paint gold, so that sheen's not going to be in your face bright gold, which is what I'm going for. I want to dull it down just a little bit. I'll be honest, a shop towel, the little blue shop towels work a little better than these paper towels, but this is fine. I'm not going to really take a whole lot off, so I'm just tapping. Now you can see how by tapping, all of that glaze is staying in the low areas, and that's what's giving this edge our depth. You can pull as much off as you want. If you want to pull a lot of material off so that you really see that gold, then you just kind of pat it. So now you see how you can really see that background, I mean the foreground, the gold, I guess you would call it. Here I have it a little thicker. I can pull that off a little more if I want. Make sure you keep changing your paper towel so that you have a dry area. So as you pull off, you're creating dimensions. Some areas I'll want to pull off a little more than other areas to give it a realistic look. Now, depending on what glaze you use, this glaze is not as pigmented as the glazes I usually use. So I'm gonna let this set just a little bit. I don't immediately wipe it on and then wipe it back off. If you've got a really heavily pigmented glaze, you'll be able to wipe it on and immediately wipe it straight back off. All right, so we'll do this to the entire piece, come back and see what we think. All right, so it's starting to dry, and after looking at it, I've kind of decided I don't want that much gold to show through. I want it to be a little more muted. So I'm just gonna come back and add, I want it to be a little darker. I don't want that gold to jump out at me quite so much. So I'm just gonna come back and add a little bit more of the glaze. All right, and this time when I pull it off, I'm just gonna pull it off a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. I really wanted it to be a little darker. And again, it's all gonna depend on your preference, what metallic paint you used first, how vivid that paint was, and how much you want your edge to be a statement. All right, I like that much better. And you can see, just when that light hits it just right, it picks up a little bit of that glitter. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want it boom in my face. I just wanted ever so often for you to see a little bit of a glitter catch your eye. Okay, you'll notice right here in some of the smoother spots of the rock edge that I'm really gonna tap it up quite a bit, because that's gonna actually make it look like it's a texture. So I can give a visual texture on those areas. Okay, so the edge is done, and we're gonna let this dry overnight. Depending on what glaze that you use is gonna determine your dry time. If you use maybe a less expensive glaze or a more watery glaze that's not as pigmented, you could probably get away with a few hours of letting that dry. If you come in with a very heavy bodied glaze, maybe a wall glaze, that's meant to have a lot of open time, you may have to wait 24 to 36 hours, depending on, like I said, what glaze you use. It is very important that your glaze be 100% dry before you go to the next step, which is applying epoxy. So we're gonna let this dry. Tomorrow, we're gonna come back and we're gonna put a clear coat of epoxy. All right, so we're gonna bling this up just a little bit. We're gonna add just a little bit of both the gold and the diamond dust. What this is a very, very fine particle. It's a smaller, finer, lighter particle than glitter. And I'm gonna put just a touch. I don't want this to overpower my finish. So that was the gold dust. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the diamond dust. Tiny bit, and put in there to spice it up just a little bit. All right, and like I said, I just want this to be a hint. You're really not gonna see much of it until the light hits it just right. All right, Let's go. All right, so once I've poured it out, I'm gonna scrape my edges, but I'm gonna make sure that that product goes in the product that's already on the table. I don't wanna scrape my bucket and then put it by itself, because what will happen again, if I haven't properly mixed it, scraping that and putting it in a spot by itself could actually cause a sticky spot. So the fact that I'm emptying it out in the product, I'm gonna mix that one more time by hand. Everything's laid out. Got all the surface tension out. That's another reason I like to use my hands, because I can really get that product on the table. Now I'm gonna torch it. And again, you're gonna make sure you read the instructions for your product. Not all products are able to be torched. Some products, you use a denatured alcohol to come in and spritz your bubbles out. But this is Stone Coat, and we can torch. I'll wait about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll torch again. I'll torch it 3 times. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes since we poured the clear coat. And because I don't walk away, Rhonda, even though I tell everyone else to walk away, I'm gonna go to the next level with this and show you some really cool things to make this look even more 3D. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in with the gold, liquid gold, and I'll put a link to this for you guys down in the description. But now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come in here, and because this gold likes to sit on the top, I'm gonna just outline, and I'm not gonna stay exactly on the line. I'm gonna kind of go outside what's there now. And the reason I'm gonna do this is because it's gonna give me a little bit more of that 3D look. I mean, I'm almost trying to not be neat with this. For one, this is gonna continue to move a little bit, so my lines aren't gonna stay perfect. And I don't have to do this on every single one of them either. By kind of picking and choosing which ones I wanna do, that within itself is gonna cause some really cool visuals. And I'm not going crazy on it, I'm not putting a lot. Now, even on some of these that have a little bit more gold in there, I could even come in here and ever so often put a little bit of gold in there over the actual top of the geode, the top of the design. The more visual effects, the more layers that you can create, the more realistic this is gonna look. So here's the one that's actually got a lot of gold in it. So I'm just gonna come over the top with another layer of gold, intentionally kind of staying out of the lines. All right, that looks cool. I think I'm even gonna let a little bit of this gold run down the edge. As that epoxy moves over that edge, it'll take a little thin stream of that gold. Okay, so we finished doing the detail work with the liquid gold randomly, and it looks amazing. So we're gonna let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow we'll come with our final flood coat. Then we'll let that sit, and we'll do the ultimate top coat. So, getting excited, it's almost done. All right, so our final flood coat is just the clear epoxy, 3 ounces per square foot, and we'll apply it just like we did our last coat. 24 hours after we poured the flood coat, we applied the ultimate top coat in a glossy sheen. Check out our YouTube video, the new ultimate top coat, for some detailed instructions and tips on getting a flawless finish. After we roll on the UTC, we like to give at least 24-hour dry time. After that, we recommend 1 to 2 days before installation and full use. All right, guys, as you can see, our countertop is finished, and I am in love with it. Guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, we will post the products and the links that we used on this countertop. Check out our website, RK3designs.com, for promotionals, information on our classes, and more. Sign up for our newsletter, and you'll receive even more special coupons and promo codes. All right, guys, until next time, remember, don't be scared, move forward, and be creative.